Blutbad.
Hello and welcome back to another behind the scenes toy photography video. This week I'm going to show you how to blend images together with layer masking. I call this shot Brothers at War. The Black Series figures I used were Maul, Savage, and a Phase 2 Clone Trooper. I've made a lot of very flat dioramas lately, so this week I wanted to try something with a little more verticality. I started by using a cinder block and a paving stone to create an upper walkway and a floor for my little courtyard. This Savage action figure is an absolute unit and I wanted to highlight the sheer scale of it in this photo. With that in mind, I used a figure stand to place him pretty close to my camera, then placed Maul way back on the cinder block walkway. Using a small acrylic cube, I created a support for my clone to balance on, making it look like Savage was holding up the clone on his own. I also popped the head off another clone and placed the body at Maul's feet. To fill in the background, I employed some styrofoam coolers that I've carved and painted to look like stone walls along with a 3D printed doorway. The cooler on top was larger than the bottom cooler, so I had to use some weights to balance it in place. With the scene set, I positioned the rest of my lighting. I used a couple small panel lights to make the red lightsaber glow, and a green tinted softbox above my background TV as my main light. I took 3 separate exposures that I would blend together later. Here's my starting image with just the green light. My first task in my editing process was to blend this shot together with a couple alternately lit shots. I placed a layer mask on each red layer and used the brush tool to blend them together. I started with a large soft brush to paint in the broad strokes, then switched to a small hard brush to fine-tune the edges. When I was happy with the result, I made some selections with the pen tool to create my lightsaber blades. I used more layer masks on the blades to brush out some parts non-destructively. I could have used the eraser tool, but layer masking is easier to go back and edit again later. I gave some motion to Maul's blade to add some action to the scene. Next, I added adjustment layers to adjust the light levels and color balance. I also created a vignette to darken the peripheral of the shot. To bring everything together, I added a few more special effects, some glow to the boy's eyes and some smoke and charring to the poor clone's neck. So once again, here's my starting image. And here's where I ended up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and maybe check me out on Instagram. Thanks, and until next time.